welcome to Hooligan Radio, everybody. I'm Isaiah, your host that's hosting the other hosts. To my right, I have Josh.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? This is super weird, but we're figuring it out.
Yeah, dog. They're that podcast that talks about video games, movies, true crimes, and cryptids, if you forgot. And our true crime and cryptid specialist on the other side. Zach, why don't you say hello?
Yo, yo, yo. And to your comment, Josh, when aren't we trying to figure it out? I feel like every week we're doing this.
We're trying to figure it out for 36 episodes.
Yeah, I'm going to
say. 35? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think we just changed the intro to the podcast where we're trying to figure it out.
One day we will get it.
Yeah, so we're just going to hop into it, I think, because I don't remember the rest of the intro.
Yeah, let's just talk about this Chipotle Quesadilla.
Okay, so in our segment called Trying Random Shit, I tried who all tried the quesadilla this past week, or has tried it so far?
I did.
Zach?
I'm raising my hand.
You're raising your hand. Awesome. It's totally a visual medium. All right, who wants to go first? I tried it literally today for lunch.
Okay, so what'd you think?
I thought it was easily the worst thing you could get at Chipotle.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Well, there's not a ton of stuff you can get at Chipotle, so it's really, is it better or worse than the burrito or burrito bowl? I didn't think it was that bad. I wouldn't get it over a burrito or a bowl, though. I mean,
right.
It was nice to have something different, but it's, I wouldn't. Haley really liked it, but I would much rather just get a burrito or a bowl, but it wasn't terrible. It tasted fine, I thought.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat as you, Isaiah. I tried it today, but I almost didn't get mine because the person who was making mine didn't know what it was at first.
What?
When I asked for it, she was like, what? And I was like, the quesadilla. And she's like, we don't have that. And I literally pointed behind her and pointed to the picture where she turned around and then went to get someone else. And I was like, all right, we're off to a great start.
So did you end up getting it?
I did. It took a couple minutes, but I got it.
Okay.
So I've got two questions because I didn't really pay attention. Is the quesadilla the same price as what you would get from a burrito or a burrito bowl?
Yes.
That's a ripoff.
Yeah, that's so bad.
That's so
just
bad.
Get the burrito.
They made a killing on me today.
Well, I mean, you're getting less food, but you are getting the melted cheese.
Ooh. I'll just put my burrito bowl in the microwave.
I don't know if this was just because my Chipotle had no idea what they were doing, but were you able to get other stuff in it besides just meat?
No, so you get the sides. Okay. I really liked the container. I think that was my favorite part.
That was the favorite part of the experience.
You get the little sides in there, and then, I like the container. But
all right, the real question is, what sides did we all go with?
All right, what'd you get, Zach?
I only did the corn salsa.
You did 3 helpings of corn salsa.
That's the only thing I like there.
Wait, did you?
You did 3 little bowls of corn salsa.
All the other salsa is like on a 1 to 5, like a solid 2,
on the line,
and the corn
Zach.
is a solid 5.
You could get rice, lettuce.
You could get rice, beans,
lettuce,
see,
I
sour
wasn't told
cream.
I could get rice. I was pretty much told whatever salsas I want to get.
Oh, they did you wrong, Zach.
Yeah, dude, you could get any of the things on the line as in those little containers.
Well, knowing that, 2 of those would still be the corn salsa and 1 would be rice.
Yeah, see, I got white rice, sour cream, and the queso. And I still don't really like their queso.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Chipotle has dropped the ball on 2 of their latest innovations. They're like, we got you queso. And everybody's like, this tastes like garbage. And they're like, we got you a quesadilla. And we're like, this is a garbage deal.
Yeah. At least they're not taking anything away, though. You can still go get your normal stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. My sides, I got the corn salsa, because Zach is right. It's the best part. And then I told her I wanted the pinto beans, but she just gave me the mild salsa instead. And then and then sour cream. And there would be no reason, I would think, to get the quesadilla over like a bowl or a burrito. If you're going to get a quesadilla, you might as well just go to Moe's or Cordova, where you could put whatever you want.
Go to Taco Bell. The whole entire time I'm just like, I could have got this at Taco Bell and been so much happier.
Right. Or you could build your own at all those other like quick serve Mexican food places. So Yeah, for this trying random shit, if I had to give it a rating, I'd say it was a skip it. What'd you think?
I wouldn't go out of my way to try this.
It was a skip it as well, and I don't think we honestly have had a positive thing to say about any of our try it things so far.
Wait, what about the M&M candy bar?
It was not that good. Remember, Josh had like one of the 4 he tried.
Yeah.
Josh just says, eh.
We gotta come up with something good to actually try.
Well, they have to come out with something good in order for us to try it.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, so now that that's over with, thank God, let's break into the news. So, Josh, do you want to start off the news?
Sure. So we'll do a little preview of our main topic, which is our summer movie preview. The summer is getting kicked off with Avengers Endgame this week. Guys, we're finally here. This is it. By the time we record our next episode, we will all have seen Avengers Endgame. I just wanted to go over none of us have seen it, obviously, our final thoughts, predictions, expectations for the movie. So first off, what are your guys' expectations for this? Are you trying to keep them low so you're not disappointed? Or are you going all in and hoping for the best movie ever? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that... See, I don't have the full investment, and people will call it that I'm a fake fan because I haven't seen all of the MCU movies. But I'm really only there for a few characters. So I'm going in it for out-of-the-world amazing performance from Robert Downey Jr. Obviously, he's going to put on the show of his career, I think. And the only other thing I really want is to undust Tom Holland. And whatever the comeback of Tom Holland is to Tony Stark, if it is either in this movie or if it is in Far From Home, I need that reunion to be as beautiful as my heart needs it. And that's it. Everything else is just filler for me.
What about you, Zach?
I'm in such a crossroads because I despise Ant-Man so much, but I know he's probably going to play somewhat of a significant role in this movie. I think because of that, I'm just like, all right, I don't care what happens. And I think that's a good thing because I'm going to go in there with not like super high expectations. I'm going to go in there a little bit disappointed to start.
I'm hoping that this is the redeeming movie. This is Ant-Man's redemption story for us. Because that's the only thing I think that Zach and I agree on in the MCU is that we both don't like Ant-Man.
Yeah, and I mean, in my opinion, his best performance was in Captain America Civil War. So he's better, in my opinion, in crossover movies than when he has to carry his own movie.
Right, so this will be it. This is the one.
The only redemption I see him making is if he explodes Thanos from his anus.
No
then
way.
He will be a fan.
I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day, and I don't know if it was one of my coworkers or somebody I was out at the bar with. I think I was out with Scott, and I told him, what if they put Ant-Man going into Thanos' ass, but then Thanos farts him out, and it's a $10 billion fart joke made by Disney.
Or just shits him out.
Yeah, I would be okay with that.
Yeah. Like the best investment of all time.
I think for me, obviously I'm trying my best to keep my expectations low, but they're not at the end of the day. I mean, this is honestly the biggest. I can't think of any other cinematic event that we've experienced in our lives. I can't think of anything that'll happen after or before this that's going to compare to what this is. And my biggest expectation is that we just get happy endings. Not happy, I don't care, that doesn't mean it has to be happy, but satisfying endings for the original Avengers. Because I really do think most of them are probably done after this movie. So whether it's a death or a retirement or whatever the case is, just to end off those characters in a good way, so we can kind of be accepting of the future. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, see, my thing is I better get at least 5 to 10 minutes of sad Thor if he suddenly becomes ecstatic because Captain Marvel is here. He's got a hard-on or whatever for her.
They're going to bang.
Yeah, I'm going to be so sad because sad Thor is probably the number one thing in the trailers that I was like, I'm going to see this opening night so I can see sad
So
Thor.
that leads me into our predictions. Now, none of us have seen the movie, obviously. None of us have seen anything outside of the few trailers they released. Now, we've heard rumors of leaks and stuff. None of us have come in contact with those. Tell me if I'm wrong now, but I haven't seen anything. So we don't know anything that's going to happen. But as far as just let's make some reckless speculation predictions before we see it, I think my biggest thing is I think Captain Marvel is going to show up at the very beginning of the film, and they're going to go try to fight Thanos. And I think Thanos is either going to kill her or somehow make it to where Captain Marvel is not going to be as big of a deal in this movie as I think people are going to think she is. Like, people are thinking she's just going to come in and save the day and save everybody. I really do think the Russos are going to do something to where it takes her out of the main focus, and it's really more so focused on Iron Man and Captain America and Thor and Black Widow, and Hawkeye having to save the day. So that's my big twist I see happening is early on in the film, her either being killed because they're going to end up doing time travel and undoing it anyway, or her in some way just getting debilitated to where she isn't able to help out the main Avengers. I don't think she's going to be as big of a part of this movie as people are expecting.
I think that, yes, I think you're right. I think that the main focus of the movie isn't going to be on Carol saving the day. I think that it's going to be more anime than that. It's going to be like, the power of friendship. Captain and Tony got back together, and now they're going to beat Thanos. And I know for a fact that's going to be the actual plot line. Is going to be like, because in the trailer that you could see where they like shake hands, that's a monumental part of the movie. Yeah. And I think that Carol being there is going to be helpful. Like, there'll be obviously a scene where we're like, oh, well, if that didn't happen, then they would have never beat Thanos. So she'll still get her moment. But I think that it's mostly the main plot of it is going to be basically what I assume the Russo brothers see themselves in, what Tony and Captain's relationship is like, and it's like, we do better when we're together, blah 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 blah. Yeah, and so I think that will be the main plot. I think my prediction is, I'm gonna go bold and I'm gonna say Cap dies. Bucky's the new Captain America in the future, in the next phase, and I'm gonna say that something happens with Tony where he's done fighting crime, but I think he'll still be around in the movies. For the Spider-Man movies, to be kind of more like a mentor figure to Tom Holland's character.
Yeah, Zach, I'll ask you in a second, but real quick on that point, Isaiah, I've come completely full circle and come back the other way on Tony. Asked me 6 months ago, convinced he was dying in this. But now, after thinking about it, I really think he won't, but I think he'll just retire and show up in future movies as kind of like that mentor role or small cameo role once in a while, just because even though Captain America is supposedly like the captain of the Avengers, Iron Man's really what holds the MCU together. So I don't know. Just a part of me thinks he's gonna. I've come the other way. I think he's gonna survive, which makes it even more devastating for me if he does end up dying. Zach, you got any predictions?
Yeah, you guys touched on, honestly, like, combined what I was thinking. I think there's going to be significant death as well as people leaving the MC universe. Retirement's a really good example of it. I also think Captain America is not going to be making it out alive of this movie, and he's going to be passing the torch on to Bucky or Falcon, I think is the other one's name.
Right.
And then since you brought it up, I can definitely see Tony Stark retiring. I can see Thor going back to Asgard. Not Asgard. Is it Asgard?
Yeah, but Asgard's destroyed, so...
Well, going back and trying to rebuild Asgard, trying to do like whatever he's doing. I can see Hawkeye leave and do his family things, and I think honestly, at the end of this movie, the main Avengers that we knew and loved so many years ago is going to be a remnant of what it is.
Yeah, I think that the biggest point that I would see the difference in is when you say the passing of the torch to Bucky or Falcon. I think it's more going to be he's passing the torch from Captain America to Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel will be in charge, but Bucky or Falcon will be the Captain America. Like you were saying, he's like the captain of the team. I think that whoever he passes it to, they're going to play more of a role like Falcon or like Bucky in the movies, where they're kind of like, I appreciate I completely appreciate and align with Captain Marvel in the future. And I think that there will be a reason why that happens for either Falcon or Bucky.
Yeah. And I think one thing with that, too, is they might use the shield. Like, Bucky might end up using the shield, but I don't think they'll change their name to Captain America just because I don't think Marvel will want two captains, people named Captain, in the same iteration of the Avengers.
Yeah.
So they may pay tribute to him by using his shield or something, but I honestly think they'll just remain as the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson as the Falcon. I mean, they're even getting a Disney Plus show, called The Winter Soldier and Falcon. So I don't think they'll actually take over the name because we have Captain Marvel to be the captain. And that's going to be pretty badass once we get there.
Yeah, that's going to be super cool.
Oh, for sure.
And then first, before I move on, anybody have anything else to say about Endgame?
Yeah, I think that the two things that are really, have got me antsy is I saw an article today that Kevin Feige said that Endgame is not the last movie in this phase. Far From Home is.
Yeah.
And another thing that I heard today is that they can't drop the next Far From Home trailer because there is such a major spoiler for Endgame that they can't show it. And I was like, that all but confirms it that my boy Tony's going to be the next movie.
That's interesting. Or it could be the opposite. Maybe it's something that confirms he dies.
It could be like a mourning of Tony that is in there.
I've heard that.
So that makes me think then, is Far Away From Home going to essentially announce the next huge villain?
Probably.
Yeah, and not only that, but just got thrown off there for a second. With Isaiah's point, I've seen so many interviews like with the Russos and with Kevin Feige where all the interviewers are like, with Endgame being the last movie and, with Endgame being this new start, everyone goes, yeah, Endgame and Far From Home. Like, they throw it in there, like, don't forget. Like, they're really making it seem like it's part of this story, like, Far From Home isn't the new beginning, so I don't know what that means. I don't know, but it definitely is an interesting wrinkle into that.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be it's going to be probably a transition film in between Phase 3 and Phase 4, right? That's what the phases are right now.
Yeah.
Going into Phase 1 was just a huge dream that he's having while he's dead.
Nah, dude. When they say Far From Home, everybody's like, oh, it's because they go to London. But no, he actually gets sent to Titan. He's got to solo kill Thanos.
So literally right after we recorded last Monday is when the rumors came out on Twitter about spoilers leaking. So I decided at that point to just delete all my social media off my phone. So for me, social media includes Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I don't use Reddit really, and I still go on YouTube. But I've been off social media for a week now, and to be honest, the week has gone by quicker than I thought it would. Especially, I've always had in my mind, at my 9-to-5 job, if I didn't have Twitter, my day would go by so slow. But I feel like it's been the opposite. I feel like my days have gone by super quick, and now I feel like they've gone by so slow in the past because I've just been sitting on Twitter at my desk. So it's been a really interesting week, and not only that, but I feel like I'm just out of the loop on the entire world. Almost every day, my girlfriend would be like, oh, did you hear about Aunt Becky or some other news story going on? And I just have no clue what she's talking about. So it's definitely been really interesting, but it has been tough trying to stay away from, the Endgame spoilers as much. I've tried as much as possible because I still go on YouTube and I still, listen to podcasts and stuff. So it's hard to completely stay out of it. But I would recommend at least this week, leading up to, by the time this comes out, you only have a couple days left. But yeah, I would recommend to be careful.
Yeah, this week has been hell. I've been supposed to be doing a lot of tweeting and stuff for the page and just dropping the ball on that. I'm pretty sure that Zach isn't on Twitter currently either. I'm the only one who retweeted the last episode, so I'm just like, oh, I need the boys, but I understand. I will take the hit. But what I've heard is that the spoilers that are going around currently are just actual screen scrapes from the movie. So if you had Instagram, if you go in your Discover page and you're you're one to talk about Avengers and it has your trends and stuff, you could see a picture that could ruin it. Yeah, that's what it's telling me. I'm playing a dangerous game out here. But the thing that I have going for me is I know all of my Twitter, the people I follow on Twitter personally. So if anybody spoils the game spoils Endgame for me, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. Well, I guess what happened was they were screening the movie for the MPAA, who rates the movie. movie, and that organization has always been like secretive as far as like no one knows who's in it and all those types of things. You'd think that they would like take your phone when you go into the movie,
Right.
but I guess not. So I guess someone posted on their Instagram story, stuff from the movie. It's like, what's your goal?
Yeah,
like, just to be
why?
the worst person in the Yeah, like, oh, that's terrible. But luckily, I've been able to avoid it. So, fingers crossed, I make it to Thursday without seeing anything.
Yeah, I haven't been on Reddit because there's a couple subreddits that I only go new, and I know that there are trolls on the internet who would just like post in like some video game subreddit, like, look what I saw, just motherfucker.
And we're recording this on Monday, so the premiere of Avengers Endgame is tonight in LA. The review embargo lifts tomorrow. I'm even trying to stay away from reviews. Like, I don't want to see the Rotten Tomatoes score. I don't want to see what people are saying. I'm trying to go into this as blind as possible, which is almost impossible in today's age, but I'm going to try my best.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's basically going dark from here on out. I'm just going to have to go ahead and warn everybody. There is a no holds barred by Monday. We are going to record the next episode of the podcast. Will be a deep dive into Endgame. So,
well, I guess next Wednesday.
Right. If you don't see it by a week from the Wednesday, so what is that? In May, the first week of May? Or is that
it's like May 1st.
Yeah, actually is.
May 1st? Yeah. So if you haven't seen it by May 1st, that episode will have a lot of spoilers because we're going to have a lot to talk about.
We'll probably do spoiler-free at first.
Yeah, for like 40 seconds.
5 minutes.
And then the rest of the episode will be us rolling around in revelry.
But this is, we really got to move on. But this really is the type of movie that where everyone who's seeing it is seeing it this weekend.
Absolutely.
Or at the very least Monday or Tuesday. I can't think of anyone waiting 2 or 3 weeks to see this thing. And if you do that, that's on you.
Yeah, it's going to be spoiled for you by then anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, we should move on. I'm going to hop right in here and talk about my news from the last weekend. So, I found out over the weekend that Kanye does a thing on Easter or around Coachella. I don't even know what it is. It's called Sunday Service. So he has like a gospel choir come out, and he DJs a gospel choir, and different people come out and preach and do like religious songs, and he has like the choir sing like the gospel parts from his songs. So I watched that. It was like 2 hours from like noon to 2 on Sunday. And it was crazy. I was thinking, like, anybody who was on any sorts of drugs at Coachella this weekend that went to this thing would have had a religious experience and would have been like, I am a devout Christian right now. Like, I can't even imagine what it would have been like live, because it was crazy over the internet. Like, it was so...
So, is it basically like a concert, or what was he doing?
Yeah, it's like a concert with Kanye, but the focus isn't Kanye, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah, right.
I don't believe it.
So Kanye, the only song that he really did was Jesus Walks. He did like pieces and parts from his other songs during it, and it was weird. DMX like did some preaching. Oh. Chance was there. He did a part of his song. But it was really cool. It was like very gospel-y. Kendall, who we had on the podcast before, described it as black church on crack. And I was like, I could not state it any better. It was insane. I would highly recommend it's weird. So it's like really weird to watch because it's like filmed through what you would think is like a telescope. So it's like out of the whole YouTube frame, it's just like the middle circle. Oh, no. It's just like zoomed in on different people and stuff like that. But it was crazy. I was blown away by what was going on there. I was like, I don't even know. I'm not a huge I was a huge fan of Kanye, and then he became political in the aspect of like what he said about Bush, and then what he says about Donald Trump and all that kind of stuff. So I really lost paying attention to him, but I saw this and I was like, I have to know if Kanye sees himself as a god.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I watched it. But it was pretty cool. I thought it was, for it being free on YouTube, why not? Yeah. That's probably all over YouTube now. So if you want to watch it, I would watch it. It's pretty cool. Especially if you're like a religious person, it's really interesting to see, because he does like a lot of different gospel songs, and it was like talking about how he is risen, because it was on Easter that he did the thing. So it was pretty cool. But that's the only news I have. So what about you, Zach? What's been going on in the world?
So first, we'll start with some paranormal stuff. And paranormal investigator Lorraine Warren has died at the age of 92.
I saw this article.
Yeah, and if that name sounds familiar to you, but you don't know where she's from, she was actually one of the investigators that was in, or I should say, the movie The Conjuring was based on, when the Lorraine's, him and her husband went and investigated the house. She actually died this weekend. And I didn't see this to the very last minute and threw this on our outline to talk about, which is crazy.
I thought she was in Grave Encounters, so obviously I was wrong.
I just imagine every paranormal investigator movie is based... No, I shouldn't say that. Every paranormal investigator movie is based around Grave Encounters, if anything. But, so essentially, her and her husband were dramatized in a lot of movies. The Conjuring, also in The Haunting, Amityville Horror. Huge investigators in the paranormal universe who went out of their way to essentially investigate ghosts and the paranormal. And unfortunately, she's now dead.
Yeah, it's actually pretty sad. I mean, I obviously, as a big fan of the Conjuring movies, I've looked into the Warrens. I think her husband, Ed, passed away, I think in the 90s or a while ago. I can't remember. But, yeah, with her being dead, I mean, that's definitely, that's sad. But, she was 92. So, especially for battling with ghosts and demons all the time, I guess she lived a pretty full life. But my biggest question is, they have that whole room of haunted shit. Who's going to take that? That's their daughter? That's my question.
Nope. They're going to sell it all on eBay.
Oh, no.
Man,
send it back into the world.
Imagine that estate sale. I would be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I know you would be, and I would never hang out with you ever again.
So we're never coming in your house.
Dude, you see this shirt? This shirt's haunted.
But guys,
fuck you, Zach.
No, but guys, no, I've already bought the tickets. When I go to Vegas the first week of June, I'm going to Zach Baggins' museum, who I guess is the guy who does Ghost Adventures.
Really?
I think that's a show he does. I'm not that familiar with it, but yeah,
I think you're right.
Yeah, he has a museum in Vegas with all this haunted stuff, and I guess he has this. Zach, you might know more about this. He has this box that, like, if you open, you'll get haunted or something. And he did like a live special on TV a few months ago where he's like, I'm gonna open the box on live TV, and then he didn't open it. So I'm like,
scared,
man, I'm going to this museum. The first thing I'm doing is I'm running away from the tour guide or whatever. I'm gonna find the box and I'm gonna open it.
It's just gonna be a little sticky note that said "Gotcha" when you open it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, "Son of a." But before I finish up with the Warrens, that is what was it? Paranormal. What was the name of his show?
I think it was Ghost Adventures. I'm not
sure.
Ghost
Adventures.
Yeah.
You're right. I watched it for the first time at our friend Brad's house, who was actually also on the podcast, and that was and I just love it so much because my first experience watching the show was them just yelling at ghosts, quote unquote ghosts, or in rooms, just yelling at them, and I was just like, "What the hell is?" Like, we're trying to get them aggravated to do shit. I'm like, wow. But last thing I want to say about the Warrens is that they collectively investigated more than 3,000 paranormal and supernatural disturbances, according to CNN, and pretty much all of their investigations were tracked by a man named Gerald Brittles, who wrote The Demonologist.
That's weird. Yeah. Rest in peace, Lorraine Warren. I hope you don't haunt us for talking about you.
I bet they'll do something at the end of Annabelle 3. I bet they'll throw something in there,
I could see that.
Or, dedicated to, or whatever the case is.
Yeah. What else you got for us, Zach?
To get on a little bit of a happier note, and I'm going to ask a question. You can't answer this one, Isaiah, because I already ruined this one for you a couple days ago.
Okay.
But a customer pulled out an iguana from his shirt and threw it at a restaurant manager in Ohio recently. But, Josh, I want to ask you, what restaurant do you believe this is at? I'll give you two guesses.
Cracker Barrel.
No. Oh. That's a good one.
Is it like a restaurant local to the Northeast, or is it?
There's a 90% chance we've been there. I would be shocked. No, we've been there.
We've been there.
We've been a lot of places.
We've been a lot of places.
I'm gonna go with if it's not Cracker Barrel, that was my go-to.
He started with 90%, so it's not Denny's. It's not
yeah.
Baker Square.
Yeah. I don't know. Olive Garden?
No.
Where is it?
Police say that a Madison man walked into a Perkins restaurant in Ohio.
Of course.
He laid down in a booth, threw a menu at a waitress, and then threw the giant lizard at a man who tried to talk to him.
So this was a giant iguana.
Yes.
I thought it was like a little pet iguana. No, it was like a full-grown.
No, this is
Pet
like a
iguanas
full
are
iguana
still
that
pretty big.
I'm like looking at the picture of this, and he is cradling it like you would cradle a newborn baby.
Oh my god! Did he get arrested?
Yes, he did get arrested.
I know that we have a scientist who listens to this. Emma, when you hear this, can you tweet at us what the average length of a pet iguana might be, so that I can inform Josh on how terrifying it would actually be to be thrown?
Oh, I'd probably quit my job if that
Yeah,
happened to me.
I quit. Perkins, I would definitely quit.
Do you
I'd
keep
go
the
to
iguana,
Applebee's.
or do the cops take it as evidence, or is that technically your payment? I don't understand that part.
Nah, dude, they get closed down by the food.
Iguana probably got arrested as well.
But that's not fair. They threw the iguana at you. That's not like it just walked out from your kitchen.
Could you imagine?
Why did this guy do this?
I don't know.
Authorities have no idea what provoked the attack. But
Great.
records show the man is now on bond, which is set at $10,000, and being charged with animal cruelty, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest.
Dude,
Also,
how long did he have the iguana in his shirt?
And how do you not
enough
see
to-
that?
where did you hide it that it wasn't seen?
Can I get a table
Also-
for one? Just crawling around his shirt.
Also, fun fact, the iguana's name was Copper.
Copper?
But he suffered a fractured leg from the incident.
Aw.
Oh man, I wish it was Jaeger or Meister. That would have been a life story for us to tell, but it wasn't. So you'll get it next time.
I like to believe that they are fully grown somewhere in the Carolinas enjoying their best life.
All right. That was wild, Zach. I can't even imagine.
If it's from a Toronto Sun, you know it's good.
You know it's good. It's like the Florida man of news sites.
See it, play it, skip it. See it, play it, see it, play it, skip it.
So I wanted to talk about, because we weren't doing See It, Play It, Skip It yet when I started playing Shenmue. So I wanted to talk about it. I recently bought Shenmue 1 and 2 Remastered for the PS4, purely because I remember playing the first one on Sega Dreamcast when I was a kid. And oh my god, if you've never played Shenmue, this is the plot of the game. You're a guy your father gets killed by some like gangster.
Okay.
And you're trying to find out who did it, and you go into town and you have to ask people what's going on. And that's it. So just imagine like Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
The Grand Theft Auto, but you can't steal any cars or do anything cool. You just walk around the town and ask people things, and it's in real time. So it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto, how it's like, a minute is a second, or whatever the case is. Yeah. So you can't like just fast forward. So you ask somebody like, have you seen Joseph? And they're like, come back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. And it's like, okay, what do I do for 36 hours? Because there's only one mission in the game. There's no side missions. So you're just stuck walking around. Anyway, I'm trying to truck through it. But Shenmue 3 is supposed to be coming out. So if you're into mystery games that are more slow paced, you might want to check it out. It was Shenmue 1 and 2 for only $30. So not a terrible price. But
So that's
I would say it's a play it.
It's a play
if you
it.
have a lot of time and you're into that genre, it's just going to take a lot of time. And I've never even played Shenmue 2, so God forbid. I mean, if I beat this one someday, I don't know.
If I beat it,
I might have to skip number 2 and go straight to 3.
You gotta wait the 36 hours though for that mission.
Yeah.
Staying in the game realm, one of the indie games I've been following for a little while, I would say probably over a year now, released on Friday, called Forager. It's another one of those like gather resource, build up like a society kind of games. And I've probably put in over 12 hours since Friday. It's pretty cool. It's a cute little game. I really like the art style, and there's like a bunch of different little puzzles in the game that you do to get different resources and stuff like that. I definitely think it's a play it. If you have the Switch, I would wait till it comes out on the Switch. I couldn't wait anymore. I was like telling myself I was gonna wait, and then I like saw people streaming it, and I was like, no, I'm gonna get it right now. So I bought it on my PC. I think I'm like 2 or 3 hours out from completing it or something like that at this point. Like 100%ing it, I think. But it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I would wait for it to be on Switch. It'd probably be a good game to have on Switch. I play with the controller on PC, so the PC really doesn't really... The PC controller scheme doesn't really play well to it, I think, personally. But, yeah, I think if you have a Switch, keep your eyes open for Forager.
And then what about the TV movie realm? You watching anything?
Yeah, so the other day I was hanging out with Karina. Shout out to my best friend. And I was browsing through Netflix, and I was like, damn, I really want to hear the theme song to Cheers. So I threw on the first episode of Cheers so we could get to the theme song, and it sucked us in. Really, I was like, all right, Karina, we got to watch the first episode to see if they say anything problematic. Like, I want to see if it aged well.
Yeah.
I am 7 episodes in, and they've only said one questionable thing. It was like an old guy. He's coach. They call him coach in the show. Yeah. He didn't understand that the guy who came into the bars had a boyfriend or something like that. So like it was like, but it wasn't like straight up terrible. It was like off bad. Like it was like gay people were still the butt of the joke, so that sucks. But like nonetheless, it wasn't. It could have been much worse. Is what I'm trying to say. It wasn't like
they skirted around it.
Yeah, it wasn't like super homophobic.
Yeah,
they like, which is really crazy because the show came out in the 80s,
90s. I think.
I was gonna say it came out in the either in the mid 80s or something like that. But yeah, I've been watching it. I'm on the watch though. I'm trying to find out where it finally takes a turn for some not socially acceptable themes in the episodes.
What platform is that on?
It's on Netflix.
On Netflix, okay.
Yeah, so I'm 7 episodes in, and we'll have a segment where I update you on the Cheers social acceptability.
Yeah, I won't lie, man. I've never watched Cheers, but when I was looking at our outline today, I saw you put Cheers in there, and I was instantly like, where everybody knows your name. That's pretty great.
What about you?
For me, so the first thing I wanted to touch on, Zach, you talked about Guava Island last week. So I checked it out, and I mean, damn, like, Isaiah, have you seen Guava Island yet?
I saw the beginning part of it. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I started watching it while playing video games, and I was like, this looks like it needs my full attention.
Yeah, so only 50 minutes long, and it's just more proof. Like, is there anything...
it's only 15 minutes? So
50 minutes,
I was going to say, I watched the whole thing.
50 minutes, but it's like, it's just more proof. Is like, is there anything that Donald Glover can't do? I mean, in this one short film, he acts like a really good performance, and he gives a musical, like basically music videos in the movie. He's just the best part, definitely. I was pretty surprised at how much I liked it. Rihanna was fine in it. The story was fine. I know there's like some commentary and stuff in there which works, but for me, it was the Donald Glover show, which most things with him are. Like, anytime he was on screen, I was absolutely glued to it.
Yeah, I think the last thing that we have to find out if Donald Glover can do is voice acting. So once we see Lion King, if he kills Lion King, it'll be like, okay, well, what can he not do?
Yeah, so I would say, so I gave it a 7 out of 10. I would definitely say see it. It's up there for one of my favorite things this year so far. That's not saying a ton so far, but it's up there. And then I also watched Bumblebee. I missed that in theaters. So I saw the first Transformers in theaters when I was in like 6th grade, and I haven't seen any of the other ones, nor have I watched that first one since then. So I am not at all like a Transformers fan or anything like that. I mean, I get it and I get what it is, but Bumblebee was like, it was funny. We had the question a few weeks ago, if someone's never seen a movie, like, what do you show them? I feel like Bumblebee would be one of the easy answers, because this movie is literally like a baseline of a movie. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, it's like the most just like generic, and I'm not saying this in a good or bad way. Like, it's just like generic, straightforward. Like, Bumblebee comes to Earth. I can explain the whole plot without spoiling anything. Like, Bumblebee comes to Earth. John Cena's a military guy. They have an encounter. Haley Steinfeld finds Bumblebee. They form a friendship. There's some action at the end. Like, it's like the most straightforward. Like, I watched it. It's 90 minutes long, and I was like, well, that was a movie. So I gave it a 5 out of 10, just straight right down the middle. It's really, I think, up to if you're a Transformers fan. If you're any kind of Transformers fan, this is probably down your alley because there's literally nothing to dislike in this movie because there's nothing to like either. It's just the most like bland, basic movie that I was able to sit through it. So I guess it's good, but I would say skip it. I can't recommend it unless you're a fan of the Transformers, which by that case you've probably already seen it. But if you haven't, I would say see it in that case. But yeah, I was blown away by its mediocrity.
Does this movie have anything to do with the other Transformer movies?
So from what I've heard, I think there's like little Easter eggs or little references to the main franchise, but no, for the most part, it takes place in the 80s, and it's more of an origin story for Bumblebee.
Okay.
But that's it.
I'm not going to see it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see it either. But.
So moving on to our main topic, we're going to be doing, it's that time of year, guys. It's time for our second summer movie preview. It's actually pretty crazy that it's already been a year.
We got some stuff in store for you for year two.
But I was listening to
our movies.
I was listening to our third episode, the first summer movie preview we did last year, just to kind of compare the movies that were coming out last summer to this summer. And I mean, even taking Avengers Endgame out of it, I think this summer is much more loaded. So we're going to go through it here. I listed 20 movies from May through August that we're going to talk about, but there's even more that I couldn't put on the list because there are just so many movies coming out. But these were the 20 that really stuck out to me. So if there's any I don't mention that you guys know you're looking forward to, let me know. But these we're going to go in chronological order starting in May. But the first thing I want to point out real quick, this week, A24 is finally releasing Under the Silver Lake on VOD, video on demand. So I assume that means it'll probably be on like Amazon to rent or Vudu or those types of things. So I would recommend, I've been waiting to see that. That was on the last summer movie preview.
It never came out.
Yeah, it kept getting pushed back. So that is supposed to come out this week. So I would look out for that if you want to rent that. But starting in, obviously we have Avengers Endgame. You know, that's kind of what kicks off the summer. But then the first big one is May 10th, Detective Pikachu. Are you guys excited for this one?
Yes. Have you seen the pictures go? Oh, you haven't been on social media?
No.
There are pictures going around of like a person in like a Detective Pikachu, like big. Like you were there when we went to the mall and we saw that one. Yeah, and you saw the pictures of me with the one with Ryan Reynolds like hugging the big Pikachu, and everybody's been like retweeting it and being like, "This makes my heart so happy," and I'm just like, that movie's gonna kick ass. I already know it's gonna be so ridiculous. All of the Pokemon are gonna be really jarring to see. Like you're gonna be like, "Oh, look there's what they think a Charizard looks like in what it would look like in real life." Yeah. So I'm pumped. I think I'm gonna have. That's gonna be my next movie I see in the theaters. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I can't say I'm like super excited for it after seeing more and more about it because I think. At the end of the day, I think it's unfortunately just going to be an average movie.
Well, I mean, that's fair. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, what can you ask for? But I do like the fact that it's actually pretty shocking that this is the first, live action, Pokemon movie in theaters. But I'm glad that they went a different route and did the Detective Pikachu story rather than just doing a reboot with some actor playing Ash that no one buys as Ash, who would probably be... freaking Harry Styles is Ash or something.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm glad they did kind of a different route. I'm pretty excited for it. But I'm kind of with Zach. I'm trying to temper my expectations a little bit because it is a little bit like, I know Ryan Reynolds is like totally bought in and I respect that, but it's like, is this just kind of like a cash grab from the studio? Like, oh, you like Pokemon, right? Look at these Pokemon. But hopefully there's more to that.
That's one of the things I love about Ryan Reynolds. I feel like he just buys in. He's like, oh, I got this contract. Watch me go whole hog. I am Deadpool. I am Pikachu.
Exactly, yeah. And then the week right after that, May 17th, we have John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. We've talked about this a bit. We've talked about the trailers on the podcast. Action movie wise, this is probably my go-to this summer. Are you guys excited for this one at all?
I was going to ask you, do you have the first two on Blu-ray?
I do, yeah. Do you want to borrow one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of want to see this one too.
Okay.
The trailer had me like, oh shit.
The best thing about Go ahead, Zach.
All I have to say is it seems like one of those movies where there's not going to be any shortage of action. Like there's probably going to be like solid 5 minutes of like break time between action and like gunplay, and those are the best movies.
Yeah, and the good thing about John Wick, Isaiah, is like John Wick 1 and 2 is a movie you can put on and not pay attention to, because you'll know when to pay attention because shit's going on. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a dialogue driven movie. It's not a plot driven movie. It's someone killed John Wick's dog and now he's going to fucking kill people, and that's all you need to know.
That's all I need.
So
the hero can relate most.
Yeah, right.
At the end of the day.
Anybody fucks up Nova, I'm on a warpath.
So, really excited. I haven't seen a John Wick in theaters. I caught both of them on Blu-ray, so I'm excited to see a theatrical John Wick. And I think it'll be the end of the franchise. I mean, it looks so ridiculous. I don't know how they can continue it, but maybe they will. And then the week right after that, there's 2 movies coming out. So even with me trying to limit this list of, down to 20 movies, there are still several weeks this summer where more than one major release is coming out. And this is the first example. So we have 2 movies, completely different types of markets. We have Disney's live-action Aladdin, and then we have James Gunn's dark superhero movie Brightburn about the origin of an evil Superman. So let's talk about Aladdin first. We have kind of already. We have Will Smith as the genie. We all know the controversies. I'm assuming you guys are probably not going out to see this one in theaters.
Nah, I'm going to see this one.
Are you going to see it?
I'm just gonna wait it out.
I love Will Smith. I'm so pumped.
I was actually thinking the other day, I can't remember the last movie with Will Smith I saw. Like, I can't.
Suicide Squad.
Oh God! Oh no! He was in
What
Suicide
about
Squad.
his
I
Netflix
forgot.
movie?
What about what Netflix?
His Netflix movie? When
Bright?
he
I
was
didn't watch that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was in that. You're right, but I
But he
didn't
said in
watch it.
theaters anyway. So,
But dude, Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
You just ruined my day bringing that back up, my man.
Oh no.
Anyway, I'm actually kind of excited for Aladdin. I know it's going to be just generic Disney, bullshit, but I'm kind of excited because for me, Aladdin isn't a movie I have huge nostalgia to. I didn't see it until I was an adult. So for me, not that it'll be a new story because I have seen the original, but it's not like The Lion King where I had this huge attachment to it,
Right.
And then Will Smith, I personally think he's gonna be entertaining.
He's gonna kill it. I know for a fact.
And then Brightburn, for anyone who doesn't know, I know Elijah asked me actually about if I was excited for this. We talked about it when the trailer came out. James Gunn, who directed the Guardians movies, he also made a movie way back in the day called Slither. I don't know if any of you guys saw that movie. It's about like these alien worms that come to Earth and basically like they go into your mouth and it's a whole takeover movie. This movie, Brightburn, looks kind of in that vein as far as like a very dark humor, movie. Basically, a kid crashes to Earth. It's the same exact origin story as Superman, except this is what if Superman was evil. And the trailers look pretty interesting, so I think it's an interesting premise. James Gunn isn't directing it; he's only producing it. So we'll see, how much of an imprint he has on it. But that's one to watch out for if you're not going to be seeing Aladdin that weekend.
Yeah,
Is there a rating on this movie already?
It's an R movie.
It's an R. All right, that makes me want to see it a little bit more.
I just started seeing advertisements for it today on like YouTube and stuff like that. So I wasn't aware of it now, but now that you talk about it, that sounds interesting. I would love to see how our planet deals with an evil Superman.
Yeah.
I want to see the exact scene from Captain Marvel where she punches the old grandma, but in this, and just watch the old grandma's head explode. Yeah.
Yeah. And then right after that, huge packed May, as you can see. Right after that, we have 2 more movies. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Rocketman, which is the Elton John biopic with Taron Egerton, who is actually performing the songs in this movie, which I was pretty surprised by. But those 2 movies are both coming out, and I'm not including it in this list, but I don't know if you guys have heard of that movie Ma coming out with Octavia Spencer. It's like a thriller movie where an older woman like preys on these teenagers.
Oh,
shit,
yes.
yeah.
It's like supposed to be.
I'm
like
gonna see that for sure.
So that's also on this list. So that just goes to show there's so many different markets being served this weekend. But for me, I gotta go with Godzilla is what I'm seeing that weekend. I mean, on the big screen, that's where you gotta watch Godzilla. I can see Rocketman on Netflix or rent it later on. Same with Ma. Godzilla is what I'm going to the theater for. But what about you guys?
Yeah, I was thinking if the drive-in has Godzilla and Rocketman on the same screen, know I'm going. But
that would be a great one to go to.
The double feature is a clutch feature of the drive-in.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I could be convinced to go see Godzilla is where I'm at right now. I'm not sold completely, but I could be convinced. And I know that Elijah will convince me as soon as he hears me say I could be convinced. So.
Same with you, Zach?
I mean, I'm already feel like I'm going to go see Godzilla out of those 3 to start. Ma's one of those things which, if I'm bored one weekend and just want to go see a movie, I feel like I would go see that. Rocketman, I'll probably wait a little bit, but Godzilla would be the thing I see on opening night.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we're all on the same page there for the most part. And then we finally get into June here. I'm going as fast as I can with these, but there's a lot going on. So we finally get into June. June 7th, we have Dark Phoenix, what seems like the last chapter of the Fox X-Men, where obviously you have the Dark Phoenix storyline of Jean Grey kind of, becoming the Dark Phoenix and battling the X-Men. It really feels like this is it. I mean, it's almost like this movie is limping to the box office. It's finally being released. I'm going to see it just because I've seen all the other X-Men movies, so I might as well. But I really wouldn't be mad if they just put it on Hulu instead. But it seems like they're really pushing forward and going to release this. I don't know if I'll see this one opening weekend, though. I'll probably see it in theaters, but I don't know. I mean, that's actually the week I'll be coming back from Vegas, so I don't know if I'm actually going to see that opening weekend. That's one of the only times on this list I might be saying that. What about you guys? Do you have any excitement for that at all?
No,
I have
not
no
excited
desire.
about it at all. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a single thing that makes you want to see this movie.
A side note is, have you listened to the Wolverine podcast? The one that's about Wolverine?
I have not.
I highly recommend it if you run out of episodes of Hooligan Radio. The Wolverine podcast, it's a story podcast where it doesn't follow Wolverine. It follows these secret agents who are looking for Wolverine in Alaska. It's really good. It's 10 episodes. I think there might be a second season. I haven't finished it yet, so I don't really know. Okay. Or I think I finished. I don't remember. But it's super good. I would highly check it out. If you need that X-Men fix, and you're not going to get it from
I have yet to dive into narrative podcasts or story podcasts. I definitely still got to get into those. I'm still just on the guys talking to each other in a room podcast.
It was described to me over the Focello weekend. It's like, and this is going to really hit Zach and some other people. It's like, you know how when you listen to the black tapes, you're like waiting for something to give you that payoff, and it never really does? Wolverine is exactly like that, except it keeps paying off, and you're just like, this is fucking crazy! So I would check that out.
That speaks to me so much.
You're right. Yeah, I would check it out if you haven't checked it out. But this movie, fuck this movie.
All right. And the week after that, this is an interesting one. I'm interested to see what you guys think about this. Men in Black International. So this is a reboot of Men in Black starring Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson reuniting from Thor Ragnarok in this movie. What do you guys think of the original Men in Black? Have you guys seen him with Will Smith and I forget the other actor?
Yeah, Zach, what do you think about Will Smith?
I have no problem with Will Smith or the Men in Black.
Yeah.
You have any interest in seeing this one though?
No.
No, that's what I thought. You motherfucker.
It was one of the trailers for when I went and saw Shazam with Alyssa, and the whole entire time I was like, this just seems... It was one of the movies where I'm like, I'm pretty sure through that 2-minute trailer, I saw the most exciting parts of the movie.
Also, I gotta say, Men in Black International, that's one of the worst trailers this year. They use the fucking London Bridge Fergie song. So the whole trailer, it's like, oh snap! It's like, why would you use it? Is this 2007? I'm sorry, that was one of the worst trailers this year. So I'm totally with you. I'll probably wait to rent that one. And then we got a couple weeks after that, or is it the week right after? I think it's the week right after. So we have 2 movies coming out on the 21st, both about toys, but for completely different markets. So we have Toy Story 4, the sequel that nobody except Disney thinks should be made, and then we have the reboot of Child's Play, which just recently announced that Mark Hamill is doing the voice of Chucky the doll. So 2 toy movies for completely different markets. What do you guys think about these 2?
I hate
Could you imagine Woody just choking out Andy's mom? And if these were flipped.
I had no idea where he was going with that.
You took me down a weird hole by saying 2 Toy Story movies.
Andy's mom getting choked by a Woody. I don't know if I want to mention
that. I was like, whoa, buddy, what are you
Buzz
doing?
Buzz Lightyear just knifing people in the streets God.
Yeah.
So you guys gonna see either of these movies?
No, not at all.
I might see Toy Story.
Yeah, it's like I feel obligated to see Toy Story 4.
I still haven't seen the 3rd one, and I'm not ashamed of that.
Oh wow, you haven't seen the first? Wow, okay, good for you, man. If that's the hill you want to die on.
Yeah, right.
Not seeing Toy Story 4.
Think after 2, that's when all the toys go berserker mode, like I was just describing, and I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. Well, then you should play Kingdom Hearts because I'm pretty sure that happens in Kingdom Hearts.
No, not from your reviews.
And then we finish out June. We already kind of talked about it a little bit, but we have Annabelle Comes Home, the ending of the trilogy of the Annabelle movies. It looks like it's going to be connecting the Annabelle prequels with the Conjuring films. Annabelle coming home to the Warrens' house. And then we also have the movie we talked about a little bit before, Yesterday, where a man wakes up in a world where the Beatles never existed, and he's the only one that remembers them and, kind of steals their music and becomes famous.
I think Yesterday is the only movie in June I'm excited to see.
That's pretty fair. That's kind of fair. I mean, personally, because I'm a fan of the Conjuring franchise, I'm probably going to be seeing Annabelle Comes Home before I see Yesterday. Yesterday seems like a plot I could wait to see, like, what's going to get spoiled for me in Yesterday, that I have to see immediately. But if it gets really good reviews, I might go out of my way to see it in theaters. But that's kind of where I stand with that. Are you kind of on the same page, Zach, or how do you feel?
I'm like thinking of Yesterday. What don't we, you watched the trailer. We've all seen the trailer for Yesterday, I'm assuming, because we've talked about it before. After that trailer, what else is there to the movie?
Zach, fuck you. You guess what movies are going to be anyway in the first 10 minutes. Why does it matter to you anyway?
But it's like how it's going to start.
You paid $12 for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, but at least you don't know. Like, Yesterday, it's about literally the world not remembering your single Beatles song. What else can this be about?
Exactly. I need to go see it for what the conflict could possibly be.
We all seen this before.
Have we seen it before?
No, we haven't seen
concept.
it before.
I'd like to see. I can't think of a movie.
Zach's like, this movie's going to be literally 51st Dates with the Beatles. I don't fucking get it. Shut the fuck up.
There's just one person. I can't remember.
He has to show someone the Beatles every day. That sounds like a better plot.
Sounds like a retirement home.
All right, and then so we get into July. This is actually an interesting development. This just happened. Spider-Man: Far From Home was originally supposed to come out July 5th, which is a Friday. They moved it back to the Tuesday, July 2nd. I don't know if that's because of the holiday or what Sony's and Marvel's plan behind that is, but I can't remember the last time I saw a movie on a Tuesday. So that's really interesting, Spider-Man Far From Home. And then the day right after, July 3rd, we have Ari Aster's movie, which also got moved up to this date, originally supposed to be in August, Midsummer. Ari Aster, the one who directed Hereditary, this is his second film following that up. Obviously, we're all excited for Spider-Man Far From Home, and until we see Endgame, we don't really know what it's going to be like. But what do you guys think about these two movies?
Is Midsummer A24 also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for Midsummer.
And we'll see Spider-Man. I'm going to see Spider-Man Far From Home because I love Tom Holland, but I really need to see Endgame to be start the hype train for the next Marvel movie I'm going to see.
I mean, pre-Endgame, the biggest thing I'm excited about is Jake Gyllenhaal. We know he's in Far From Home as Mysterio, but as far as the actual plot of the movie, I can't really think about it until after this Thursday.
I will pay $12 for 4 lines from Zendaya because she is the most badass character in the MCU by far right now. So that's all that matters to me.
All right. What about you, Zach?
I'm just super. The fact that now Midsummer's on a Wednesday just makes me excited because that means I can easily see it the night it gets released because I'll have off 4th of July.
Right. No,
nice. Yeah.
I think that's,
I think we all are, right? Hopefully.
You should.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I think that might have been the plan there with Far From Home is it's kind of like putting a Thursday release on what could potentially be a long weekend for the American market. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So if the 3rd is technically a Friday because people will have Thursday off, people will probably also take the Friday off. If you put it on Tuesday as the release, then you know what I mean? Unless they're saying Tuesday is the release and technically they're going to do Monday at 6 o'clock. Then it doesn't make that much sense.
I mean, probably.
Right.
But, obviously, Midsummer is like one of my most anticipated movies, just because Hereditary is my favorite movie last year, so don't want to put too high of expectations on it, but I'm really excited. And then, obviously, we have the big one for July, The Lion King, coming out the 19th. I mean, I think we've said all we can really say about that one. We're all excited. Can't wait to see it. And then the 26th, we're finishing July with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's 9th film following basically Hollywood in the year 1969. Brad Pitt playing a stunt double for Leonardo DiCaprio, who plays an actor. Margot Robbie is playing Sharon Tate, the actress who was murdered by Charles Manson. So there's a lot going on in this movie. It seems like kind of just a period piece, of the 60s in Hollywood. But that's kind of out there as well in July for, while The Lion King's making $1 billion. That'll be a slightly smaller movie that'll make some money. So what do you guys think about July overall?
I'm fucking pumped for July.
The best part about July is, and as I talked about this earlier, is that I hope to at least see 2 of these movies in a drive-in and just have that experience all over again.
Absolutely. I think that I know for a fact that the drive-in that I used to work at is going to show Far From Home with Endgame. I know for a fact because
I would buy those tickets immediately if I knew that was coming.
How about The Lion King with Midsommar?
That on the other hand,
Midsommar I have to see in the theater.
I don't think Midsommar will be able to be shown in the drive-in without gruesome. I think the visuals are going to be.
Yeah, I don't think that you could just let people drive past that one. That, and I don't know how well A24 does in the drive-in market.
Yeah, I mean they barely release their movies in theaters.
Yeah, exactly.
And any excitement at all for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Any interest in that?
No.
I have some. More of the fact that you just said that one actress is going to be playing the person who was murdered by Charles Manson. So that makes me think that Charles Manson might make a quick little appearance in this movie, and I want to see that.
Yeah, for me it's weird because it's like all the parts are there for me to be really excited. Leo DiCaprio, Quentin Tarantino, Margot Robbie. It's about Hollywood. Like all the parts are there for me, but for some reason I'm not super excited yet. Maybe as we get closer and I see more footage, I'll be more excited. But let's finish this off with August. So I'm just going to go through it quickly because August is not as big of a month. August is typically when the summer calms down. So we have August 2nd. We're starting off with the Fast and Furious spinoff, Hobbs and Shaw, with Jason Statham and The Rock. And then
No, fuck no.
The week right after that, we have scary stories to tell in the dark. And then we have 5 days after that, Angry Birds 2. Now, you might be thinking, why is Angry Birds 2 in this list? And it's because, A, I needed more animated movies on the list, but also, Angry Birds, the movie, made a shit ton of money. How? I don't know. But it made
all the kids.
It made I thought Angry Birds stopped being popular in 2013.
Yeah, same.
But it made a ton of money. And I remember when the first Angry Birds was coming out, I was like, this is kind of like, you kind of missed the mark.
You missed the mark on
but
this,
no, they made a ton of money. So I'm putting it, do not be surprised if Angry Birds 2 ends up being the biggest movie in August. And then there's 47 Meters Down Uncaged, the sequel to 47 Meters Down, because you cannot have August without a shark movie. Last year it was The Meg, 2 years ago it was the first 47 Meters Down, 3 years ago it was The Shallows. You have to have a shark movie in August. It's the rule.
Yeah, that's because Shark Week is in August.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that, though, and not keep making these shitty shark movies.
They make so much money, though, dude. The Meg was terrible, and it made hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, because the way that I know my life is, Shark Week is either the week before Corn Festival or the week of Corn Festival, and then there's always a shark movie when I was working at the thing. And I was just like, Shark Week is just a ton of advertising for this movie.
Yeah, basically. They probably show trailers and like TV commercials.
They just buy up all the spots.
So anything in August you guys are excited for out of these 4?
Yeah, I can't wait to see Angry Birds 2, my guy. It's going to be sweet.
I know Isaiah's there Thursday night for that one.
Yeah, dude, that'll be my next Thursday night release. Big old bucket of gummy bears or gummy Angry Birds, and can't wait to see him hit those pigs.
I can't wait to see the trailer before Toy Story 4 and The Lion King.
You're right. You're right.
I have the smallest interest in scary stories.
I think Hobbs and Shaw will be good.
No, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I can't do another Fast and Furious movie.
It's like,
that's another series that just needs to stop.
It's just like, I feel like Hobbs and Shaw is more like a from the creators, less about like
direct.
This is Fast and Furious. Can't wait to see Ludacris in scene 4.
Yeah, I think there'll probably be cameos and stuff, but it definitely feels much more of a let's take these 2 characters and put them in a buddy cop movie. With that being said, I probably won't see it either.
Yeah, I probably won't see it, but I think it'll be cool.
But Scary Stories, I liked the idea of it, but after seeing the trailer, I don't know. I just
it just like takes the air out of it. You're just like, oh.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, Angry Birds 2, I won't be seeing that, and I won't be seeing. I might not see a movie in August. That's a big deal for me.
Nice. Use that time to catch up on
Netflix and
Netflix
shit.
shit.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Actually, one thing well, that's not a movie. Never mind. Forget about me. I was gonna say August will probably just be you watching Stranger Things.
Yeah, because that's
So that
going to
comes out
take
in the
more than
beginning.
one day.
Yeah. And it comes out the 4th of July.
Yeah, so that's gone.
But yeah, so that's the summer. So overall, guys, what are you most excited for this summer? What are you least excited for? What do you guys think of the summer?
I'm most excited for taking July 5th off and watching all of
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things and not doing anything in the middle of the summer. Oh no!
Yeah, I think I'm excited for some of these. Honestly, I think this is the first season in a while that has quite a bit of scary movies, and at least it looks like quality scary movies coming out.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
I think, as a whole, that's what I'm most excited for. But I mean, there's those huge names in here: Lion King, Godzilla, Spider-Man, of course. I mean, those are going to be must-sees.
All right. Well, let's get to our fan question. I don't have Twitter, so someone else will have to pull it up. I haven't seen I think we got many answers because we just tweeted it. But but
Yeah, I was messed up that one.
what is your guys' favorite kind of donut?
And we only got 3 responses, so I guess we'll just read them all.
Okay.
So our buddy Scott said Boston cream. What do you guys think about Boston cream?
That may be my choice, but I'm not sure yet. But
Not
that's a
bad.
good pick. Good pick.
Okay. Emma said, I think hers was my favorite. Her answer is freshly made donuts, Krispy Kreme, hot off the assembly line. Heart eyes emoji. Emma, you're speaking to my soul. I would drive to Krispy Kreme right fucking now to get one of those.
I kind of feel like that's a cheat, though. Like, what's your favorite donut? Freshly made? Like, oh, any food is better freshly made.
Chill out.
Like, what's your favorite kind of pizza? Freshly made? But all right, I'll give it to her.
And then Karina said, I think she said maple sticks, but I don't have the frickin' what's it called?
Pulled up in front of
Maple
you.
anything is good.
Yeah, it's not in the what's it called? In our notifications.
Let's just assume she said maple.
She said something maple. I think she tweeted and deleted. So.
Okay. So Isaiah, what's your answer?
I'm gonna have to go with strawberry and sprinkles, dude. Strawberry frosting sprinkles.
Simpsons
Those
donut.
motherfuckers
The Simpsons
slap. The
donut.
Simpsons donut, dude. I love them when they're made by Krispy Kreme, but overall, they're the goat.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Zach?
I think I have to say and I can never say this word correctly.
Bavarian?
Yes,
Bavarian
Bavarian cream.
That's
Yeah,
good.
with
I'm
the
surprised that
pudding
Zach didn't go
stuff
with the maple bacon as the answer.
It was honestly, it came down to the line between that and the Bavarian cream, but I can have a Bavarian cream donut and think of like childhood and be like, this is it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to kind of say, Zach. When I was younger, I was all about the fillings, the cream, the custard, the jelly. But as an adult, I got to agree with Isaiah and go with the Simpsons donut. It's just the best. You
the
want a
best,
donut,
dude.
pink frosting, sprinkles. It's the best go-to.
That's
for
why
me.
it's
for the most
iconic.
iconic
my guy.
donut.
Yeah,
I can
the
give it
most
that.
iconic.
That's why it's the most iconic, because it's just that's what you want in a donut.
You know what we should try, Zach? You got to find out if there's a peace loving Lil Donuts by you, because there's one by us. We should try that for the next try segment, because they got little donuts, but they are like, from what I've heard, they're amazing.
What's it called?
Peace, love, and Lil Donuts.
Little donuts. Oh, I'll have to look that
It's
up.
over by.
I can take a look.
I think it's over by the hospital in Fairview, somewhere around there.
All right, Zach. Well, if you have it, try it. We'll try to try it, and we'll see. Maybe that'll be the next thing we have. Does anybody have a fan question for next week? Well, here's a pretty easy one. Unless you guys, have another one, and we can post this after the movie comes out. What are your thoughts on Avengers Endgame? Right? I mean, that's what we're going to be talking about the whole episode next week.
Right.
Yeah, literally for an hour and probably close to an hour and a half. It's going to be pure that.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about it. Endgame. It's like, if you don't plan on seeing it before then, yeah, you're going to need skip. You're going to need to put that episode in your pocket and wait, because it's going to be the first 10 minutes will be for you, and then after that, it's just going to be us tweaked out on Avengers.
Spoilers.
Tweaked out.
But let's
I
be
like
fair. Let's be fair when we post the question. if you're going to reply to the tweet, do spoiler free. If you want to send us what you think of the spoilers after you see it, hit us in the DMs.
Yeah.
Our DMs are
DM
open.
us.
Yeah.
DM us if it's got spoilers in it. We don't want to. Yeah, I guess.
But
already
really,
know
if
for
you
a
haven't
fact
seen
I'm
the
not
movie,
seeing it opening night. So if
Yeah.
I get it ruined within that 24-hour period, I'm going to be
Oh, I'm gonna
devastated.
call you directly.
Zach,
after
when
the
are you
movie.
seeing it?
I'm probably going to see it Friday.
Oof, man, I'm going to have to stay out of our group chat so I don't accidentally...
Yeah, you guys would just ruin
We're going to
something
see the
huge.
movie together, and we're gonna leave, and then just message in the group chat. Holy shit!
I'm going to be so sad. You have no idea.
All right, well,
All right.
that's it for this week, guys. Isaiah, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at PHPISlaya, tweeting up them tweet storms. I haven't streamed in a while. I don't have any plans to currently. Where can we find you, Zach?
You can find me at Zach the Pigeon on Twitter. Instagram still on hiding.
And you're not even on Twitter right now, though, or is that just because of
No.
Endgame?
That's because of Endgame, really.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess I'll be the only one running the Twitter.
You're gonna brave the storm. You're gonna brave
Yeah.
the storm.
I guess I'll get on Twitter on Wednesday so I can tweet about the episode. What about you, Josh? Where can we find you on your resumed social media after this episode?
Yeah, so starting Thursday at roughly 10, 11 o'clock, you can find me at _Joshua Singh _ on Twitter and Instagram, and then on YouTube. I'm waiting until after Endgame to kind of resume there, but my next Pokemon video will be coming out soon, and yeah, that's about it. So we'd like to thank American Spirits, right?
Yeah, for the use of their song. We're using Blanket Forts. We're using Blanket Forts for this one.
Okay.
We got a new song for you guys for the 1 year anniversary. We can't
Yeah.
wait to share with you guys. And then we'd like to thank Serger Burger for he's the guy who makes all of our sound bites.
Segment themes. Yeah.
Segment themes.
That's it.
Yeah, I think is that all the people we thank?
Those are only the people
Think
that
it
have got
is.
us here.
Oh yeah, we like to thank the listeners. Anytime that you like or subscribe or tweet at us or tweet about us or tell people about us, we get the opportunity to grow. Anytime you interact with us, we get to find out what you guys like and what you don't like. So we're always open to communication. Hit us up on the DMs. Our email is somewhere. You can find it if you really want it. I don't care to read it off right now. So
Right.
other than that, I hope you guys have a good Avengers week.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever you have to do.
Whatever it takes,
Whatever
especially if we have to shove an Ant-Man up an anus.
He said whatever you have to.
Whatever you have to do. Generic. That's like the Pizza Hut ad version. Whatever you have to do.
I'm not content with the cause.